Hello people, what is crack-a-lackin'? So, this is the first official video of my new series, my MMA journey, No Skill to Skill. Hope you like the title. I think by the end of this it should be pretty obvious why I've called it that. Called it No Skill to Skill, because I've started No Skill and now I would consider myself to be quite a skilled, not amazing fighter, hands up, not an amazing fighter, but a decent skillful enough one that I can happily say I'm confident when I get in that cage I'll be able to handle my business and, you know, get the dubs. But, yeah. So, yeah. That's why it's called No Skill to Skill. So I'm gonna, this video is the how I got into MMA, why I got into MMA, and 3 benefits I personally see from MMA. But there's loads of benefits, but the 3 main ones I think will give you the biggest reward. So let's start with why. Not why. How. Let's start with. Let's start with how I got into MMA. So my MMA journey's been quite a long one, you would say, in the business. I actually applied for, tried to get into Ultra MMA a year ago, believe it or not. Was it a year ago? About a year and a half. Trying to think. This event just gone this year. Would have been in April. Last one would have been last April. So last April. And we're not. And it's gone past April. So yeah, a year and a bit. I've been trying to get an MMA fight. Now, in terms of getting one, it's pretty easy to be honest. All you gotta do is sign up for Ultra MMA, which if you don't know is a charity raiser kind of event. You sign up to that, you do 8 weeks of training, and then you have a charity cage fight. So the rules are very different. Obviously there's no ground and pound, you're not allowed to kick to the head, there's no knees or elbows, the more gory, dangerous stuff that can cause injury. Not saying punch is to the head or body or kicks to the body can't, but obviously if you get a knee in the face that's a lot more effective and destructive than a punch, you know. So that's how I got into it. That's how I kind of find my way into it. But to me it's always been much more than just a charity cage match. The reason it's just been more, has always been more than just a charity cage fight is to me because over the last year and a bit of doing mixed martial arts, because I started kickboxing around a year ago, and I started jiu-jitsu a couple months ago, I've fell in love with the sport in general, mixed martial arts even more. I've always loved mixed martial arts, which we're going to in a minute. But yeah, I've fell into it even more. I've been inspired more, and it's just kept me more motivated. And I'm trying to prove a point in my first charity fight. So, how do I explain this? Because, you know, obviously a charity, you know, I'm trying to think how I explain this. Sorry, stumbling a bit. I'm trying to explain how I can explain. Let's put it this way. To me, it's much more than a charity cage fight, which is why I'm so into it and so focused and driven by it at the moment, and why I've been trying to get into a cage fight, MMA charity cage fight for a while now. Couldn't do last year's because I couldn't sell the tickets. And I couldn't sell, tickets. Couldn't sell the tickets, that was it, or raise the money, because I back then admittedly didn't hardly know anyone. Obviously it's a bit different now. I have my kickboxing team I know personally in Yate, like the Yate class, but there's also other members of kickboxing I know through obviously my coach, and I obviously started jiu-jitsu, so I know them as well. And I started a new job as well, so I've got obviously people in work that I know and talk to now. So this year it's much easier to sell the tickets, and it's much easier to raise the money. Did that pretty quickly. But what stopped it this year is obviously lockdown. So the lockdown kind of buggered it up. My fight would have been the 18th of April, And like I said, I was confident for it. You know, win or lose. I'll talk more about that in a minute. I was confident and I was ready to go. I was ready to get in there and get stuck in. In retrospect, I guess this is a blessing in disguise that we've had this lockdown. When I would rather not have it, because obviously I don't want no one to die, and this disease is horrible and I wish it would fuck off, but it is what it is, unfortunately. Yeah, it's given me more time to train, and made me a better person. And my camera's about to die, so excuse me a minute whilst I put it on charge. And if they fuck it up. Oh, God. Here we go. So I think it's going to have to bring it a bit closer. Is that charging? That is charging. Yeah. Let's just move here a minute. So yeah, it's kind of a blessing because it's giving me more time to obviously practice and whatnot. But yeah. So it's much more than an MMA fight to me, and I forgot to say this. It's going to be about a 10-minute video, and it's going to be a lot of talking. So if you don't like those sort of videos and don't want to sit here and listen to me ramble on, then bye bye. Don't watch the video. But back to the point. Why this means so much to me, win or lose. Obviously, I'm confident I can get the win, and I want to get the win. Obviously, if you don't have that mindset, you're failing. That's the first step, stop a failure. You're failing already because you're not even convincing yourself you can win or want the win. Like I said, I want the win and I think I can get the win. Will I get it? That is a different story, because when you step into that cage you don't know what it's going to be like. All it takes is one swift punch to the face and the right aim and the right angle, and you can be knocked out, or the right takedown and they can sneak in a submission. I've experienced it and also done it myself, stuck in submissions. One submission I like quite a lot, and I do quite a lot, and people don't really expect it, is where you lie on the floor in north-south position and you basically lay on their back and you just grab their head and you just lock in a head submission, but you're basically lying on the floor, and then you put your arm by their side of the body so they can't move. It's a really sneaky submission, but I've also had people do sneaky submissions on me. So you know, anything can happen in that cage fight, but I want to show that I have potential to go on further, because this isn't. I don't want to just do an MMA charity fight, cage fight. I want to take it further. I want to be getting into this profession, making it a bit of a profession, my job. If I can, which I'll explain more in detail about what stage that I want to get to and all that in a later video. But that's why it's very important to me, and why it's become much more than just an MMA charity cage fight, and why I'm training my ass off and doing so much stuff and training as much as I can, learning other styles, all this sort of stuff you'll find out in this journey. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into MMA and how it became a passion of mine. Thought I'd try that in there. So we're going to move on to the next bit now. Which is... how. So I'm going to chuck you to chuck you to me in another video, which is going to be showing you my martial art DVDs and explain how I've always been into martial arts mentally. It's just I've got into it, that's more of how I got into it physically. So I'm going to chuck you into another video which is going to explain how I've always been into martial arts mentally. So I'll chuck you to that video, and then I'll be back. Hello, so as the video explained, this is going to be the part where I talk about mentally how I've always been into martial arts. I've covered how I've got into martial art, how physically I got into martial arts, but this is going to be the part where I explain about how mentally I've always been into martial arts, and I kind of take you through the journey of how I discovered each artist and the way I've kind of watched their films and that sort of stuff. So obviously the first martial arts legend I ever came across, and I think this for most people is pretty much the same. Most people I talk to say this is the person that kind of showed the martial arts, is the man himself, Mr. 1 Inch Punch, Bruce Lee. Now, admittedly, and don't murder me in the comments, this is just my opinion. I'm not the biggest fan of Bruce Lee, never have been. It's nothing against him. He's an amazing martial artist, and I respect him very much, just like I respect most martial artists and admire all martial artists, not most, all. But he's just someone that I've never really been a fan of his films. Like I said, I respect him, he's good martial artist, just not one of my personal favourites. So then after him, I went to a series they did a while ago called Hong Kong Legends, and it was, as you can imagine, all the legends of Hong Kong. And this is how I discovered two of the people I'm going to talk about next, Jackie Chan and Jet Li. So I will start with Jackie Chan. So I first discovered Jackie Chan through his martial arts series, one of his oldest films, Drunken Master. Very good film, obviously based on about the drunken style of martial arts, hence called Drunken Master, where you fight drunk and whatnot. That's how I discovered him. And then I went on to his more later stuff, which you'll find a bit of a trend with this when I do this. But I then went on to one of his most recent ones, or was one of his most recent ones. When was this released? This was released in 2012, I believe, if I remember correctly. Doesn't actually say, but yeah. So I went on and saw this. Police Story. It's not a full-on from his older ones. It's actually just a remake. And I saw him in other things as well. But I kind of watched that one first, and then that kind of led me on to go into his older stuff, which I'll find here if you give me a second. So, here's Project A and Project A Part 2. Have I got any more? Should have some more of his older stuff. Give me 2 seconds. No, that's that. That's that. Forbidden Kingdom. It's one of his older ones, and I've got even older ones. This is a part of a collection, and The Myth, which was a 2005 film from him. And I've got other stuff with other films with him in, but kind of like I do with most artists, I kind of watch some of their stuff and then go back and watch the older stuff. So that's what happened with Jet Li. I watched Jet Li in Unleashed. I went on and watched that one, which was released in 2004, I believe, sometime in that era. Yeah, I watched Jet Li's Unleashed, which is an amazing film. And then I kind of did what I did with Jackie Chan and went back and researched and watched some of his older films. It's just something I do with most artists. I always go and watch their older films or research and try and find out older films. So, for example, show you the Forbidden Kingdom. This is quite an older one of his, Jet Li and the Empire and the White Snake. That's quite an older one. And these ones are really old. This is a Jet Li collection I have, and these are from 1992, 1993 and 1994. So as you can see, I really do go back and research people. Which then led me to, and these next 4 artists I kind of discovered at the same time. I then went on to Donnie Yen, and started watching him because he's in an older film that Jet Li's in called Hero, and I kind of heard about him, Donnie Yen, as well, so I kind of started watching his stuff, and then I watched the IP series, an absolute amazing series. And again, a bit like Jet Li and Jackie Chan, I went back and started watching his older stuff. So I've got loads of his. I've got Special ID and all sorts. Where is it? So Dragon, that's one with Donnie Yen in. Very good film. And Killzone 1, which then leads me on to my next artist, because then I watched Killzone 2, which actually has Tony Jaa in. And that got me onto Tony Jaa, which then I started watching a lot of Tony Jaa's films. So I went on and watched probably his most famous series, the Anabaka series. And then that's when I started hearing about or reading about 2 other martial artists. Another martial artist that I've got quite into, minus Undisputed 1, because that's just a boxing film, Scott Adkins. Admittedly, it's harder to find a lot of Scott Adkins martial art films because a lot of his martial art films aren't actually martial art films. They're more action films mixed with fighting scenes or martial arts. Obviously, he's an IP Man 4 as well. So I started watching a lot of his, which then led me to... I watched films in between that. I didn't just stick to B.0. I watched The Raid, which stars another martial arts series. Raid 1 and 2. And then Triple Threat, which stars a lot of martial artists. Michael J. White, Tiger Chan, Ika Users, who's in this one. Yeah, I started just getting other martial art films and really researching and going into different martial arts films. And the most two recent ones, which are probably quite old ones, is Samya Hung and Michelle Yeoh. I've started watching stuff with them in Project A as Samya Hung in, and Michelle Yeoh's in IP Man 4, is it? I think no, not 4, 3, or the spin-off one, Master C, and the spin-off one. Max Zane, he's another well-known martial artist. So I just started watching other martial arts films. So that's kind of been my journey throughout martial arts and why it's always been a part of me. Because I started watching martial arts from about 18, 19. And like I said, when I normally watch one artist, which then leads me to another artist. And when I find another artist, I normally, like I said, big thing I do is research, go back, find out old films and try and watch older films of them as well. So I've got all different eras, all different kind of generations, different superstars. So yeah, before I go, and of course UFC, it's the same with that. I've been into that for a very long time. I can't really watch much UFC because I don't have the channel. So yeah, but when I am into it, then obviously, you know, I have kept up with it from the early days of GSP, the espoisde, Anderson Silva, Chuck Liddell, Forrest Griffin, I think that's his name. You know, from those early fights to more modern ones like Khabib, the middleweight champ, I believe, or the light heavyweight champ. I don't know his name. Who else quite recent? John Jones. You know, I've gone through different eras of that and kept up with UFC like that, and Conor McGregor. Watched it when Kimbo Slice was in there, Frank Mir. I've gone through UFC kind of like I've gone through martial arts, kept up the latest person and watched different eras and different fights, and just when I can watch it, watch different highlights. So I think that's it for this part of how I've been into martial arts mentally all the time. So I'll take you back to me on another part, continuing the other part of this video altogether. So, welcome back. You've obviously seen a bit of how I've always been into martial arts. So now I've kind of broken down how I got into it, how it's always been a part of me, mind, and how MMA has just become so much more important than just important to me, and it's just become much more than a charity cage fight. We're going to talk about why I got into it. Main reason why is for confidence. That is the honest truth. I got into martial arts for confidence. That's the first main reason. Second reason is because I've always wanted to try martial arts. And third, yeah, I've always wanted to try martial arts. But the main reason why I wanted to get into it is because confidence. I've never been a confident person. I'm going to throw you a clip of me, a video now of my first ever YouTube video. And you'll see in that video that I was, you know, very nervous and not good with confidence. So I'll give you chance to chat out, and I'll see you back in a minute. Hello people, so as my video stated, I'm going to show you an old video now. This is the first video I ever done 5 years ago. I mean, going away on YouTube for a while, that's why I really count small YouTube, really thankful for any subscribers I get. This was 5 years ago when I first started out. So I've played a clip, a minute or so, and you'll see hopefully the difference and how mixed martial arts, from doing mixed martial arts, I've gained so much confidence and become essentially just a different person, but me in the same way. So let's play the clip. Songwriter. This is going to be my YouTube channel, so check it out. It's an introduction video, a bit of information about me, why you lot should support me, and hopefully you can relate to me. So like I said, my name's Inspirational A. I'm mainly doing this because my nan inspired me to do it, and the first song is to her. But I've got plenty of songs written up. I'll just show you a minute. I'm trying to be a diverse rapper and do different subjects. Like the next couple of videos coming up aren't really subjects that to do fights or anything like that, because I don't do rappings, do stuff like that. I do it to songs that mean stuff to me or you can relate to. Like, the next couple of videos is my nan's video, which is called Missed Ones, which if you lost anyone you can relate to that. I'll give you more information on the next video. If you got been bullied throughout school life like I have, or even work now and you sometimes can get bullied, then again I start, like I say in my video, so bully video, I stand up for the weak, and hopefully you can relate that. There we go, folks. So as you can see in that video, I'm a very, very different kind of person now when I do videos. I feel I'm much more confident, I don't stumble as much, I don't stutter as much, I don't pause as much. And I've got to put it all down to mixed martial arts. Through mixed martial arts, it's given me a load of confidence and just made me much more happier, I would say as well, and just made me more determined than ever, inspired than ever, and just made me more confident, which helps me obviously produce better YouTube videos because I'm more alive when I do them, I'm more into them, I'm more confident being myself and not hiding behind a wall essentially. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little flashback. It's a bit cringe for me, but there you go. I thought I'd chuck this into the video to give you guys how I've grown in confidence and why I've got to thank martial arts for that, mixed martial arts, because that's where I've gained my confidence from. So I'll chuck it back to me now. Bye. So, you are back. I hope very cringy seeing that video again, but hopefully you'll get to see from that video that, you know, I wasn't the most confident person, never have been. I am very confident in myself now, I'm a very confident person overall now. But back then I wasn't. As you can see, I stuttered a lot, didn't talk as much, probably didn't raise my voice as much, didn't put much effort, you know, so I wasn't confident. So I wanted to find something that would get me confidence. And also I kind of had a rough, bad patch in my time that time, but I'm not going into detail of that. But so I wanted to find confidence, and obviously I started going to the gym. That built my confidence. Not gonna lie, the gym helped me build my confidence. I've started putting on muscle and doing different workouts and doing my workouts differently, so it kind of gave me confidence and gave me the ability to see the world in a different light. But the main way I got confidence was doing martial arts, because it just does that to you. You start doing it, and then you start seeing yourself just grow confidence from, especially when you start seeing yourself do the more fancy stuff. So obviously I don't do fancy stuff now, but if you was to tell me, I don't know, a year ago, 6, 7 months ago, 8 months ago, that I could do an okay or a decent-ish spinning kick, and I've just learned another spinning kick that I'm learning, or I could do a decent knee, or a decent elbow, or I'd better take someone down, you know, all that stuff, I would have been like, you're having a fucking laugh. You're having a bubble, mate. That's what I would have said. I would have said, you're having a bubble. And I would have said, no, wrong person. But now, I can quite confidently say I can do a good few combinations. I can defend myself in a fight. I can, defend myself in a fight. And I can also think I can hit pretty decent and do some decent moves now. So it just gives you that confidence boost. And then obviously, with doing mixed martial arts, it gave me confidence at me, and with the confidence came then me obviously starting to talk more people. I would consider my coach a very good friend. I get on my kickboxing coach loads, and I actually find I talk to him quite a lot, more than probably a lot of people. But that's what I mean, you get to know people, and because you've got the confidence to start talking to people, you build more friendships. So I would say I built a friendship with my kickboxing coach. I've built some friendships through kickboxing because I'm confident enough to actually speak to those people and actually come forward. And obviously with the confidence it's helped me, the YouTube channel helped me grow bigger and better videos, put myself out there more, not care what people think. You know, and it's just giving me that mindset to go after stuff. So that's the main reason why I did it, was to just boost my confidence. I just wanted to get my confidence up because I was on a low point, like I said, in my life at that time. And mixed martial arts was something I always wanted to do, so I thought, why not do it, bite the bullet, and I'm happy I did, because obviously it's brought me so much already. It gave me the confidence to do marathons, runs, and I've obviously just been getting better and better physically and mentally now, so it's amazing. And thirdly, also I will say, is because martial artists inspire me a lot. They are one of the biggest inspirations, and I'm not just talking about UFC fighters, I'm talking about people in my class, my kickboxing coach, other martial artists, like the older style martial artists like Jet Li and Jackie Chan, Donnie Young, all those kind of people. They inspire me, you know. So that's another reason why I did it. So now I'm going to talk about some of the benefits that I personally see from doing mixed martial arts. And I say mixed martial arts because that's me. I am mainly practicing in kickboxing and jiu-jitsu, but I have been taught other stuff, and there is other stuff I do practice. So that's why I call it MMA, and obviously I'm looking to get into MMA charity cage fight. So some of the benefits is obviously number one, first of all, fitness. I've always considered myself to be healthy-ish and quite fit-ish, because I used to go to gym quite regularly on the regular. Anyway, that was something that I used to do quite a bit. Obviously, through my martial arts now, my fitness has just gone through the roof. For example, told me a couple months ago I could do a 10k an hour, which is nothing compared to some obviously athletes out there. I would have, again, told you to piss off. You don't know what you're chatting about, you know. But I can do a 10k in about an hour. If you told me I would work out near enough every day, and pretty much not feel the effects of it as much, or you know, used to it, I would have said no. I like my sleep too much. I like gaming too much. But no, that's not the case now. I will normally work out up to 7 times a week sometimes. Like last week I worked out near enough every day, and the week before that, and sometimes I'll do